folks, Tennessee might be a problem this year. I don't take any pride in saying it, but my goodness, did they ever stomp a mud hole in Chattanooga and walk it dry? I realize that we're at the part of the schedule where we say, well, I know it's, that's going to be what it is for the next couple of weeks. Well, I know it's just, for Oklahoma, I know it's just Temple, with Missouri. I know it's just Murray State, so forth, so on. With Alabama, it's going to be Western Kentucky. With Ohio State, it's going to be Akron. Ain't a whole lot of people playing somebody this week, right? We know this. Georgia played Clemson, and even Dabo Swinney had to say that was butt kicking. They up one side, down the other. We'll see what LSU, USC provides us. Notre Dame, A&M. We'll get from there. But I'm looking at this Tennessee score of 69-3, and folks, it don't feel like it was that close. Look, Nico Iamaleava did not even play the second half. 22 of 28, 314 yards, 3 TDs, one sack taken. And then we got Dylan Sampson, who picked up right where he left off. He had like 133 yards against Iowa in the bowl game last year. 12 for 124 with 3 TDs in this one. And I mean, all over the yard with this, because Heupel's offense is one that scores and scores and scores. And it doesn't matter if he's going to put Gaston Moore in there. They're still going to apparently go get those buckets. 69-3 is not an accident. And again, folks are going to say, RJ, but it's Chattanooga. All right, take a look at this. Chattanooga went 8-5 last year, 2023, right? It's not terrible. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's actually pretty decent. It's decent. They played Alabama last year at Alabama. You know what the score was? 66-10. What I'm saying is, if you think that Alabama was good last year, and they beat Georgia in the SEC championship game, but you also don't think that they're great. They lost to Michigan, right, in the college football playoff, the Rose Bowl. They lost by double digits to Texas. They damn near lost to Auburn. Then I think you're right where you got Tennessee, which is where I'm telling you they are a problem. Are they a Georgia-sized problem? Hell no. Georgia is the only Georgia-sized problem in the South. We're still waiting to find out what it is with Ohio State here. But right now, it feels like Georgia is running through people until such a time as they stop running through people. Now, when they get the SEC part of their schedule, they're going to see a different level of competition, because the ACC can't hold the SEC's jock right now. Like, that's neither Vanderbilt. We got both of the SEC programs on the board from Tennessee for the first time in a dog's age. All right, like, look, man, Vanderbilt beat Virginia Tech. That ain't no sorry ACC program. That was a sexy pick to make the playoff. And by the way, they was up 17-0 at one point, won the damn thing in overtime, even though the kicker had a chance to win it in regulation, couldn't make a 43-yarder. So you're talking about Vanderbilt beating up on Virginia Tech. My goodness, Frank Beamer, what would he say about that? And then you got to take into account both of the top-ranked teams in the ACC, number 10 Florida State and number 14 Clemson, both took L's. I understand that Florida State took an L in conference, but it's to Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech won 7 games last year. Georgia Tech's a good football team, but they are not supposed to beat Florida State on a neutral site in Ireland. And then Clemson, it didn't even look like those boys got off the bus half the time. They were just getting mollywopped at the line of scrimmage. Cade Klubnik could do nothing. Garrett Riley could do nothing. They had the measure of those boys from the moment they stepped into the city of Atlanta. That's just what it is. And now I'm looking at Tennessee, who comes to Oklahoma September 21, and I'm going, oh goodness me, because they got a ball game. We'll see what they got against North Carolina State, because I don't think North Carolina State is anything like Chattanooga. But when you're beating people 69-3 to open the season, you are making a statement. Arkansas made a statement. They beat UAPB 70-0. Okay? I'm talking about SEC programs that so far have scored at least 30 points in every damn game they played. Vanderbilt scored 30 plus. Georgia scored 30 plus. Oklahoma scored 50 plus. This Tennessee team scored 60 plus. We got Arkansas scoring 70. Like, we'll see what Miami and Florida has for us, and A&M Notre Dame, but everybody seems to be putting up points in that league. And if Tennessee is scoring like they're scoring, yeah, they're going to be a problem for everybody they face. And that's why I wanted to do this segment. 35 first downs for Tennessee. 9 of 14 on third down for Tennessee. 718 total yards and 300 on the ground. Jiminy Christmas. We got some things to figure out if you are not in the SEC. And if you are in the SEC, the top half of look, Vanderbilt is the bottom. That's the worst team in the SEC. And the worst team in the SEC beat what might be the third, fourth, fifth best team in the ACC. What we doing with this, dog? Like, that's the part that I'm really trying to get at this. And we're in a wild world now because not only is Tennessee looking like Alabama last year, but Vanderbilt is winning against Power 5 opponents. And quiet as it is kept, Iowa put up 40. Now, they put up 40 against Illinois State. And again, I understand it's Illinois State, part of the schedule. But 40 from Iowa? Like, they're so touchy about putting up 40 points at Iowa that they didn't even want to put it in the post-game notes that they sent out. Like, they didn't want to put out the last time they scored 40 or more, right? They just want to say that Tim Lester's off to the best start by an offensive coordinator in a very long time. And I'm going, yeah, all right. Let's not be so touchy about putting up points. But when you let Cade McNamara sling it, and you put up 345 yards in the second half, and you score all 40 points in the second half, because they were trailing this game 60-0, you got something brewing at Iowa. So we're living in the twilight world, man. But it's I say that even as we're going into a year where everybody knows we have a 12-team playoff for the first time. We have a new SEC. We have a new ACC. We have a new Big Ten. We have a new Big 12. We have the dissolution of the Pac-12. Iowa scoring 40. Vanderbilt getting wins. Tennessee looking like a monster. It's going to be one hell of an entertaining season because nothing so far has gone absolutely positively according to plan, save Georgia saying, hey, we're going to make sure that the world keeps spinning as we're just going to go sit on Clemson's chest like a 900-pound gorilla and remind y'all just what it means to be at the top of the SEC. Again, the last team to beat Georgia is Alabama. And before that, the last team to beat Georgia is Alabama. Both of those Alabama teams had Nick Saban as the head coach. And that's not shade to Kalen DeBoer, but he is not Coach Saban, who raised Kirby Smart up as defense coordinator and then watched him go to Georgia to basically take over the role of, nope, I'm the captain now. This belongs to me. T'Challa, I am your king now. That's what Georgia out here doing, dog. And when Akron is scoring as many points on Ohio State in the first damn quarter as Clemson could muster for the whole damn game, yeah, there's lots to think about there because we're in the style part of the schedule. You're not going to look at these programs and make any drastic judgments based on winning and losing. You're going to make drastic judgments based on how many points you scored, how efficiently you scored them, and who you allowed to score on you. And then we're going to compare Akron to Clemson because that's just what we do. We're going to say Clemson went to a neutral site with Georgia, even though I don't think that Atlanta is anything like a neutral site for Georgia. I think it's just a damn home game. That said, Ohio State is at the shoe playing against Joe Moorhead Zips, and they're not that good. And defensively, they didn't look that great at Ohio State, even though Jeremiah Smith got on the board pretty quick. We're going to have more to say about this a little bit later on. I really will. But right now, I just wanted to get up there, and I wanted to let everybody know that, yeah, Tennessee is going to be a problem that you're going to have to deal with. Because if Tennessee is the fifth best team in the SEC, the sixth best team in the SEC, the seventh best team in the SEC, you see what I'm doing there? You see what I'm doing there? Then you got a problem. You did the upset one side and down the other. And this might be the year which, yeah, we might see 3-4 SEC teams get into a 12-team playoff if they continue to do stuff like this. But then they got to play each other, right? And that's where we expect the leveling to begin. Because we're still waiting on a couple of teams to show us what they really got and what they really working with. But Tennessee is not one of them. They're going to come to Oklahoma loaded for bear, and they're going to be lathered up. And Oklahoma's going to have this hole at right tackle called Spencer Brown. Like it might get rough for your boy over here. But if you want to stick around and see what it's about, subscribe to the channel. We're doing the live show a little bit later on, doing some in-game stuff from here on out. But I want to get out here, talk a little bit about what we got going on with Tennessee Volunteers And frankly, get back to this afternoon where we're going to get to see Dylan Raiola put it on. We get to see what Texas is showing against Colorado State. We're going to see if Oklahoma State can finish it out. There's a lot of football left to play.